SmashFactor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to the 2020 PGA Championship edition of the SmashFactor. Gup here. Hope everybody's having a blessed day out there on a sunny August afternoon here in Norman, Oklahoma. Pretty good little WGC tournament last week. I did call the JT was my pick to win on the final thoughts. I didn't bet him because of low odds pre-tourney, but got him at 18-1 post-tourney. Post-tourney would be Friday night is when I released it. Hit the Brooks first round leader, 33-1. Hadn't graded all the betting card, but I know we were up overall, obviously hitting those two. So a good bounce back week after last week wasn't so hot. A lot of sweat in the chat room. Looked like, in general, a lot of people, JT Brooks, which were two of the guys I was highest on. Among other guys were up there. I didn't eat any of the Reevy chalk. That kind of hurt in my main slate stuff as he made a run. I didn't have any Fitzpatrick. So there's some missing pieces there that just kind of made it an okay week. Didn't win any money back. My last 2v2 on my main lineup, my bullet that I do every week, was Brooks, Billy Horschel, or Hovland and Reed. Obviously, I went Hovland and Reed. I just wanted to trust Brooks there, but it didn't. Brooks was in my second and third lineup, so my 3-max stuff. My second lineup was JT and Brooks in the same lineup. I wish I'd had that one as my bullet. Would have been a profitable week, but close. Anytime you're one step away, not much you can do about that. I think Saturday showdown was good. Sunday had sweat. Saturday had real good sweat. I mean, I was way up there for a while. Fell back right to the end. I had, I think, 5 lineups in the top 25 in the big $10 or whatever it was, $12. At one point had 4 in the top 10, but they all fell back there a little late. Finished with 2 in the top 10, 7th, 9th. But Sunday it was okay, nothing great. But the WGCs, as we saw, are they're different like that. Anytime those leaderboards flip 3 or 4 times, I think a lot of people that were especially new to golf or the industry weren't used to that. But when you have position points and not really high scoring, I mean, what JT win with 12 under or something like that? The position points matter even more. But you can have guys go on a run. Tom Lewis was a guy that went on a run Saturday and kind of kept it going Sunday and finished well. So any of that kind of stuff can flip those small fields, no cut type deal very quickly, especially because everybody still has 6 guys all 4 days. So that's why it makes such a difference. Overall, good week, but, I think everybody's excited for the PGA Championship. We'll head straight onto that here in a minute. But first, Super Drafts 2020 site sponsor. You can go to gupscorner.com/affiliates, click the link, use the code GUP, and get $10 bonus with your first $10 or more you put into play. Once you put all that into play, you can keep it as you please, meaning no rollover, nothing like that. We have great content, D-Rock, especially on the golf side. We're always seeing GC logos up there. Expect them to have huge contests just like everybody else will this week, being the first major of the year, plus, lack of other sports. MLB and NBA is back, but still, golf's doing really well for them, both sides. Super Draft, I don't keep up with much FanDuel, but Super Draft and DraftKings for sure. So, and all their content, it's integrated into our tools, and D-Rock puts his rankings out on Wednesday that's specific to the Super Draft scoring. So again, gupscorner.com/affiliates, click the link there and use the code GUP. This week, 25% off with the code GREEN25. Any package there you want, monthly, annual. We have full access and content analysis only. Full access gives you all the tools, Green Machine, Lineup Builder. Lineup Builder will have all the sports at one point. Right now we have MMA, NASCAR, and golf. MLB NBA football next to come as we get closer to the football season. And, as those get added, it's no extra cost to you. So if you lock in now, 25% off, you get, as we continue to build and add to our products, you get that access locked in, whatever price you lock in at. And 25% is our best discount right now. So I'd take advantage of it. It's this week only, through the end of the tournament Sunday. Lastly, the new polos that we got. This is last week for pre-order there. You'll see some promos going out this week. They will be a part of one of the ads. One of the promotions that I'm going to give away leading into Sunday. Give away some DraftKings dollars or DFS dollars. You can use it wherever you want to. This is last week to pre-order. So Sunday night, the pre-orders will end. Monday, we will do the drawing. So everybody that buys one gets into the drawing for a brand new Scotty Cameron putter. So 1 week from today on the Smash, we will give away that putter. So make sure you get your polo locked up. If you have any questions on that, just shoot us a DM. We can let you know. Just go to gupscorner.com/store and you'll see it there to get your pre-order. We'll also put all the pre-orders in Monday and get those shipped out as soon as we get them back. And then later on the pod, I'll talk more about the giveaways. Listener League is up. It'll be in the description. Bumped it to 600 entries this week. So that's awesome. Over 4,000 in total prize pool, limited rake, 1,000 to first place, plus first place winner will get a GC polo. If you already ordered one, so go ahead and order it because we won't know that till late Sunday. We'll either credit you back or work with you on that however that works best. Last week's winner, I kind of liked it. Sooner fan 3778, loved his logo, the upside down horns. Solid team. Pretty. Kind of Lefty was kind of the one probably that was under the radar. JT and X were, talked about quite a bit. Day was a pretty decent play. Garcia was, Garcia and Review were, pretty, I won't say chalky, but they're definitely higher owned. So getting the Lefty piece in there, and I think Day wasn't that high owned. Definitely gave him some leverage in that and had a great Sunday by all of them. And obviously JT winning it helped get him over the top, but he looked really good overall. Solid lineup. Hope he had it in some other stuff as well and cashed. So good job to him. The new one's already up. You can find it on Twitter if you're listening now. If not, it'll be in the link on the iTunes podcast. Tourney preview. It's probably the biggest question mark of the week. We were thankful enough that one of the GC members, Bagger Vance 4 is his name in the Slack, went and played this in February. Which at that time, the PGA was set to play in May. There was no COVID cancellations or anything. So they were, 10 weeks away, 12 weeks away from this thing, about to play. So they're getting the course already prepped and ready for that. He wrote us a 3 or 4 page write-up review on, how the course played, potential spots for these tee boxes, who it could favor, what kind of shot it could favor, course comps, full detail. He did a great job. Posted on the premium member content this morning. A lot of people in Slack already comment on it, so that's a big upside for us. And then Kenny Kim's, he does research like no other. So listen to him on the pod, or he'll have his write-up out there as well on the site later today. Plus, he'll add to it come Wednesday. Basically, the keynotes I have, we have all that detail out there, so I won't go into it. 156 guys this week. About 20-ish of them are going to be your PGA professionals. So, the guys that are actually PGA pros, teaching whatever at clubs. You may see one of those guys a year make the cut. Most of them are going to be 6,000, 6,100 type price. They're not, before I got on here, there was only 138 total players in DraftKings as of now. I expect we'll see an update either later today or tomorrow with the final pricing. Again, most will be 6,000 range. So may take a flyer there. I doubt I would even try one. Certainly, maybe if you're doing 150 lineups, you can try to find the best one. But other than that, so I only say that to say I look at it as you've got about 135 man field. There's some other ones that I can kind of throw out right off the top. So, you're going to have 110, 120 guys, and it's still going to be top 65 in ties cut. Difficult to get 6 to 6 through for sure. But it matters a little. It's not as tough as it was, say, for the Workday Open or something like that, because it was 156 PGA players in those fields. It isn't quite like this. A little bit easier per se, The normal, it's a par 70. Looks like it'll tip out around 7,400. They got some boxes they can move as much as 20, 30 yards, depending on where they want to get it. So they can stretch it out or move it each day. Pretty much probably the same thing you'll hear all over the industry, but, super thick rough. We'll wait to see. The nice thing is on ESPN Plus, if you have it, the next 2 days, I got, at least 6, 7, 8 hours of coverage between practice rounds, stuff like that. So we'll be able to watch that, kind of gauge. I assume they'll be talking to some players, but we can at least look at how the course is looking. Are they cutting the rough down? How are they getting out of it? Bent greens, which are new since I don't know if the bent was there during 2015. I don't think they were. But bent greens, not POA, used to be POA, now pretty much bent with a little bit of POA mix. So similar to what the guys have been putting on, since the stretch. We've had a few tournaments that were bent with a little bit of POA or bent totally. So that we'll look at the bent green putting and stuff as we get into the week on the deep dive. Premium right now, it seems to be a premium on hitting fairways. I've heard you see many quotes, you look at it, and it is going to be, the ultra side of it is going to be, well, if you can just bomb it down there like Bryson, the closer you are, the rough's not going to matter as much. And I think that's true to an extent, but you still got to be positioned well, I think, at this course. Just looking at the map of the course and all that, it's not like wide open, and you can just bomb it and wherever it's at, you're going to be able to get to the green necessarily. And it'll bring the around the green game in, which is one reason I'm probably down on Bryson. We'll get in that later. But, if he does get in the rough and get in trouble and he's got to get up and down, he's not the best in the field by far. He's one of the worst in the field around the green, in my opinion, not worst, but, for his caliber and price. But any of these guys, you're going to want the guys that hit the ball the straightest and longest, the combo of it all. And I brought both of those into my model this week. Rory's going to stick out on that. JT, you can go back to him. Hovland, kind of a rough week last week, T59. Maybe people overlook him this week. I'll go back there, 8,500. Some of those guys. And then the question is going to be, do we like the guys that are short in the fairway, but are they going to be so far? How's their long iron game? Because if they're so far back on some of these long holes, and their long iron game is not good, they're going to be sometimes having to get up and down as well. Bogey avoidance, up and down, all that kind of stuff is going to be crucial this week. Weather concerns. It's going to be chilly compared to what these guys have been used to these last first month. And we're in the summertime here. It's, yesterday was like 95, 100 degrees in the south. This looks like low 50s in the morning, really not getting above 70 much any day. So no rain, but the wind is going to be up. It's going to be off the coast. So you'll have your wind gust. Looks like anywhere from 10 to 20. We'll take a little closer look to that. Maybe give, like a Palmer type that likes to play the wind well. It looks like the wind's going to be a factor. I don't know to what extent, but all intents and purposes, it looks like it's going to play tough. I think double digits will be hard. I got the cut around +2, +3, and I got the winning score, -9, maybe pushes -10. Finishing positions are going to matter because of that. Not just a ton of birdies out there, go low type of stuff. So, not getting those big numbers are going to be a big factor as well. I'll probably bring some of that into the deep dive, taking a look at, who can avoid those bogeys and grind out type of, good par is going to be a good score here most of the day. I think if you're 2 under every single day, you're going to be right there in the top 10 come Sunday. So, different way to think about it. And that definitely impacts how we think about DraftKings in general. Obviously this course has not been played on the tour since the match play of 2015. Rory won that. President's Cup was back in 2009. Tiger played well there. Tiger's played well here. You can go back and look at the brackets from the match play. You'll see some names there. DJ, Brooks. Brooks didn't make it out of his pod, but he still finished 2-1. Several names there that did well. Obviously Rory won it, so I think that maybe get talked up a little bit this week. Didn't look great for a while. Finished pretty good on Sunday. Price discount a little bit, 600 cheaper to JT. It's going to be interesting to see where the industry goes with him. Ranges this week, you got 6 in the 10K, 4 in the 9K, 9 in the 8K, 40 in the 7K, and 79 in the 6K. And that number will climb. We'll be closer to 100 in the 6K by the time they add the PGA professionals to it. My key stats for the week right now, I'm looking at ball striking. I'm going to look at driving distance plus accurate drives. around the green, accurate approaches, approach proximity. All these stats are in our PGA Tools model, so you can go in there and read the glossary if you want to define yours or pick yours a little bit different. I'll switch up a little bit on deep dive on some things, just to take another look at a couple of different, some of that bogey, double bogey avoidance type deal, bring some of the putting stats in. I think the putting will be a little bit neutralized this week, but I always want to take a look at it, even if I don't weight it very much. At least it's a visual to look at. So that's what I'm looking at this week. If you're new to the pod, thank you. Appreciate it. Make sure you like, rate, and review us on iTunes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this episode. More on that. It'll help you when we get to the end of the pod. We talk about our big giveaways this week. But if you're sitting there now watching it, go ahead and hit subscribe. Make sure you do that. And if you're on your iPhone, it takes 20 seconds to rate and review us real quick. So that helps us out a bunch. Dirty Dozen is the way I go. I have 12 picks in 4 different tiers. So 3, 3, 3, 3. The first 3 tiers are pricing tiers, and the last tier is a flop, fade, and a sleeper. And then depending on the size of the field, this is a bigger field. I'll do 15 to 20 guys in a roundtable wrap-up that I just hit notes on, kind of popped in my good, bad, or indifferent type of deal. Talk a little bit of strategy, DraftKings-wise. Get to our betting strategy from Monkey Night Fight, our one and done, and then final thoughts, and we're out of here. Still try to keep it, we're at that hour or less. Tons of pods in the industry these days, and definitely want to keep it quick but sufficient, efficient information for you guys, especially if you listen to on 1.5x. Try to knock this out on a 30-minute workout or something like that. Roundtable will wrap up. We'll come after the picks though, and I'll go a little deeper this week into that than I normally do because there's so many guys I want to kind of mention and hit a little bit of notes on. 9K or above, first tier. Difficult choosing this week. Obviously, I could take 3 guys in the 10K, but that's not going to do you guys much good because it's going to be hard to fit all of those guys. I was torn between Rory and JT, and I still am. It's Monday. It's early. I don't know where I'm going to go there yet. I will be on one. I lean Rory right now. I don't know if the perception of how he played last week burned some people, but he's 600 cheaper also. He does have some good history at this course, albeit a little bit different setup. Recent form's just been okay. A T32 and a T47, nothing that price warrants 10-7. So, you're definitely paying for Rory, he's 4th in my stat model. So, we know he can do it. It's just a matter, do you take the risk? JT played great last week, won. Going back-to-back's hard, but, Brooks, not that it was on the same weeks last year, ironically, but Brooks did win the WGC and the PGA Championship last year. So these 2 tournaments was won by the same guy. So, not that it can't be done, or but he may be super low owned because people are like, he's the highest price. I can go elsewhere. He won. It's hard to go back to back. There's many reasons not to play JT. That's why I bumped Rory just ahead of him, but I like both of them. My second pick is Cantley, 9,400. Decent since the return, a 7th, 32nd, and a 35th last week. He as well struggled early and then had a better weekend. Was similar to Rory. So you wonder, did he, do well? He can hit it out there, with them on driving. So I think that will help him. His ball striking's, really good. Around the green is pretty good. His approaches could be better. So I worry about that a little bit, but he can get up and down. I see him as a grinder that can stay in this and get par if he needs to. My last guy is DJ. I don't know where the industry's going to go to him. Obviously, I had him in MME last week and that was it. I really wanted to get him in the 3 max, so I just couldn't talk myself into it. He goes out there, he gets a 12th, returns great value. Or he returned good value last week, but being so low owned, he definitely was good. He's only 9,000, so definitely didn't get a price bump like some of the others. I think that's a good price for him, and he has such good history. So in my course fit rankings, I took about 4 to 6 courses that I felt matched up with what I'm hearing about this course. And DJ came, and I looked at the last 36 rounds on all those courses combined, and DJ is number 1 in that model. Am I putting a lot of weight on that? No, not necessarily, but in general, these are harder courses. They play tough, and 9,000 DJ. If people are going to go over him again, not really go back to him, I certainly don't mind him. He's not just popping in my model. He's 22nd overall, but at a 9K or above, to give you some options there, because I'm not, besides making the decision between JT, Rory, Brooks type of deal, where does Rom come in? I'm probably not going to be on Rom and D-Cham. Those are probably my two easy kind of push outs. I like Xander, but I think Xander's going to be probably one of the chalkiest of the entire slate, let alone the 10K plus, just because he's the cheapest 10K guy and you can make it fit. He's been playing great, a 14th, a 13th, a 6th. I think everybody in the industry's bet him already. I did not bet him. I'm not going to bet him. But chalk play would be that for him. I mean, I like him, but I don't know if I want to eat that and I can go elsewhere. And so when you get by that, the 9K just, and there's only 4 of them. I like DJ, I like Cantley, Webb's right there ish, but he could probably be popular as well. So I'm going to settle with those 3. Rory, Cantley, and DJ are my top 3 right now, and 9K or above. Can certainly change by Wednesday as we get more information and kind of digest the industry. 7,600 to 8,900. First is Hovland. I'll go back to him. 8,500. Get a price discount this week. He's number 1 in my statistical model, 10th in my recent form. He doesn't have a lot of course fit history just because he's so young on the tour. Same, Morikawa is similar. I don't think a lot of guys are going to go there. The price may get someone there, him and Morikawa. So Morikawa is my second in this range. I think most people would go to Morikawa over him, just in general, thinking of the industry. And Morikawa's played a little bit better. He's had a first, a 48th, and a 20th. Hovland's a third, a 48th, and a 59th. So slightly better. I love Hovland. Typically off the tee, his game is strong. Like he's one of the few that's top 20 in distance and accuracy in my model that I ran. Second in ball striking, 6th in approach, a 6th in proximity. I just really like him a lot this week. He'll probably make my betting card. I'm expecting some drifting this week just because people get anxious and I get in there. And so I actually haven't made any bets yet. I'm going to wait till a little this evening and kind of see if numbers have moved. But the 41 number is pretty good on Hovland. Morikawa as well. He's 33 to 1, but he's my second pick in this range. So I don't mind both of them, especially at those prices. You can start with those 2 and then figure out who you want to go with up top and then go down low from there. And last is going to be Berger for me. I like Jason Day, but I think Day's quickly going to become, I've seen his name a lot already today in the betting world. 8,400. I think it's going to be an ownership deal. I like him a lot. I just want to see where he comes in at. I mean, his last 3 tournaments is 7th, 4th, and 6th. So, I mean, he's getting back into pretty damn good form. We've been saying that for 2 or 3 weeks now. So, I don't mind Dave, but I think Berger is going to get overlooked and be under-owned. And he's second. He got a second yesterday. Finished strong on Sunday. He's 15th in my stat model, 2nd in my recent form model. Since the reboot, he's been playing extremely well, got the win. He can get off the tee fine. So, I just think he might be a leverage play there. Definitely someone I'm keeping my eye on. And he's my 3rd pick in that 2nd tier. 3rd tier, 7,500 or less. Schwab finished strong, had a chance to win yesterday. He was the hot community bet last week, and I was kicking myself last night thinking, man, I missed out on the community win because I didn't bet him. Tee to green game is tremendous, and we see that again this week. It all comes down to putting for him in general. And at 6,900, though, that's a great price this week. He's showed great form, had a 32nd at the 3M Open. Obviously, I think he finished, I don't know if he finished 2nd or 3rd yesterday, but he was right there to win it. Playing great. He can bomb it out there as well. In this type of event where he doesn't have to worry about getting to 20 under, I don't think. I mean, I could be surprised. Maybe it does get that. I think that gives someone like him an advantage where he can grind out par, stay in the game and be right there. The 6,900 is a great price. Reeve, it was the chalkiest last week in the 6K. Gets a slight bump to 7,400. I think people will go back to him. Had a great showing. His last 3 is 17th, the 22nd, and the 6th. He's 8th in my stats, 7th in my recent form, 25th in my course fit, 6th overall in my model. Great price for him. I imagine he's going to be chalky-ish at that price, especially these balanced build type stuff. We'll see how he comes in. I don't mind eating some chalk somewhere, and that may be a place I have to go. He's number 1 in accuracy for me. So, he's going to put himself in the best position. It's can he keep the long irons going and keep himself in the game? I think he can. So I like Reeve this week. Last in this zone, 7,500 or less. I like Kevin Streelman, 11th in my stats, 11th in my recent form. 7,100, good price. Last 3 outs, 7th, 54th, and 35th. Decent showing over the weekend at the WGC at that price. We just think slightly better than a made cut. So if he makes the cut, T40s are better. You're going to get your money per dollar back, or point per dollar back. And he's got upside. I mean, we know he can get hot putting, so, if he can get a hot putter, I mean, he can be right there in potential top 10 for sure. So I like Streelman as my last pick in the 7,500 or less. My flop this week is, I'm going to go back. I've used him several times, but Bryson, I just don't. It was Bryson or Rahm to me. Didn't really like Rahm. Was one that finished strong Sunday as well. He's the second time he's done that. I could trust Rahm to come out and play the course well, probably more than I can Bryson. Just potential, right? So if I got to take one of them, I'd lean Rahm. He's $200 more. I think Bryson, even though he's got the bomb and gal, I mean, that mentality that he can bomb it out there and then score from wherever. I think courses that challenge that and make it extremely tough, where now if he can get the driver straight in the fairway, we know he's going to have a huge advantage. So it's a fine line on how he does here. I just at 10-3, I think I can go elsewhere. There is a potential. I didn't put him as a fade because there's a potential he's very low owned again. He was less than 10% last week. Certainly a GPP play at less than 10% if you're doing 20, 40, 50 lineups. But a 1-3 lineup build, I just can't see me getting there with all the other stuff around him this week. My fade is Fitzpatrick. I projecting early that he's going to be one of the more talked about chalky guys on the slate. $8,100. It seems really cheap for him. Got a 6 last week, and that's with a double on 17. He was right there. I don't think he would have had a chance to win, but if he goes birdie, I think he's probably finished the second instead. But he doubled 17, finished back to 6, had a 3rd at Memorial and a 27th at Workday. So he can be there with anybody, but up until Sunday and even Sunday putter level, I mean, he was gaining like all of his strokes or putting. Was not hitting it tee to green very well. I don't know how much that'll come out this week, but at 8,100, chalky Fitzpatrick, he'll be my fade this week as of now. Maybe something changes by Wednesday, and maybe everybody thinks that. I don't know, but I kind of see him being talked up and up there, and he would be my fade. I mean, I'll hardcore fade him 100%, but I'll be underweight at best. My sleeper, so that's my favorite play, 6,900 or less, is Russell Henley. 5th in my stat model. 3rd in my recent form, 57th in course fit, which is above average in the field. And at that price, all we need is out of a 6,600 guy is a made cut, and then everything from there is upside. He's certainly he missed the cut at 3M Open when he was kind of talked up pretty good, but a T7 at Workday, he definitely has that roller coaster type mentality. He doesn't hit the ball real far on the distance model, but the rest of the stats, he looks great. I mean, he's 20th in ball striking, 17th or 12th in accuracy, 25th around the green, 9th in accurate approaches, and 30th in approach proximity. A little bit deeper dive for him come by Wednesday, but right now, I mean, he's just too good on my model at that price. He's going to be my favorite sleeper at 6,900 or less on the week. Now we'll go through a little wrap up. I've hit some of these guys, but we'll hit the ones that didn't. Obviously, I talked about Rahm. The mentality part was coming back a little bit, and I, these kind of tough tournaments where it's a mental grind, especially being a PGA Championship, a major. I wonder how that affects him. That's the only thing that kind of worries me. It doesn't mean I won't play him, but he's right there on that bubble of where do I go. I don't want to have so many of these top guys. It spreads my pool out too thin. I right now I like Rory better. I like Brooks better. I even like Xander better, but the leverage play may come in there with Rahm. Being where he's priced, I'm interested to see how his ownership comes because I don't think Bryson's going to take a lot. Xander will, but most people, I assume, would pay $200 more for Rory and his potential. We'll see, but Rahm's right there on the radar. I've already talked about Xander. Great. I mean, fits everything. I have no issues with him. It'll strictly be an ownership play for me, and see where he's at and where I want to go with it. JT, we talked about, he's right there with Rory. It's 1A, 1B. Webb, I like strong across the board. Like him better on Bermuda, but if he's chalky, I don't mind moving off of that. But we'll see. Day, already mentioned him. Kind of shocking. I don't know how long we're into the pod, but to get this far without talking about Tiger, I like Tiger. I don't real interested to see where the industry has him this week. He's been there. I don't know how long he's been there. I know he's played at least once or twice already. He was there yesterday playing it. 9,200 seems pretty fair in general. Makes for a good, if you're doing a balanced build, I think he can get there. I think he's definitely at the upside to win it. We know he can win a major. I think tee time draw could be important just because if he's out, like if he could get that late AM and then PM type deal, so it warms up a little bit, say Thursday, and then he gets the PM Friday, I think that helps him. Strategy wise, I think Tiger is probably as good as anybody in the tour at picking his way around a course. And this is a tournament I think you're going to have to know where to miss, know where to take it, know where to take your chances. He's hitting the ball well. Definitely struggled a little bit at Memorial, but he hung on, made the cut on the number, then fought back a T40, played great Saturday, a little bit rocky Sunday. A lot of it was putting though, and he does well on bent. So I mean, he's always done well at this course and this layout in general. A little bit different layout, but he's done well at this course when he's played it in the past. So I like Tiger. Was borderline to me to be in my top 3 picks, but I won't necessarily like a chalky Tiger, but I do like him. Berger, I mentioned Garcia. I don't mind going back to him. I was surprised he didn't. I mean, he's stayed at 7,600 ish right there. He's 9th in my overall model. Just speaking about grinders, can be there on Sunday. Doesn't score real well. That's what hurt him last week. Sunday I think he was one of the few. Maybe Saturday, he didn't have a birdie forever, but he can grind out pars. So, an 8 to 10 to 11 under type, like last week. He was there. He finished 35th because he didn't finish strong on Sunday. I think it was Sunday. I think he shot plus 2 or 3. But, he can be right there going into it. And at 7,600, that's great. That's all you need. Scott is same as well. I think there's someone following him around or something on Twitter. I've seen a few people retweeting it, but looks good, at least from the stuff I've seen. Need to verify the putter. We need the long stick before I even look at him. 7,800 seems a little light for him, but we haven't seen him forever. He's only one of the few guys that we haven't seen at all yet. So that makes you wonder overall if he's chalky. I don't know if I eat that, but model-wise, he's 10th in my model. I like him a lot. I don't mind, starting some builds with him for sure. Answer, I like. I imagine him being talked up. Finished 15th last week. The reason why he finished 15th is the same reason I like him this week. I think he'll be great off the tee. He'll keep himself in play. I think higher scoring or lower, however you want to talk it, so a 10, 11 under type, 9 under helps him. So I like Answer. Duffner, a sleeper, maybe throw in there in some GPPs. He's not been just great, but for 6,400, he's made the last 3 cuts, 56, 44, 32nd. He's got better each time. Obviously, he didn't play the WGC, but I like him at 6,400. Griot played great. Had a chance to win yesterday as well in the Barracuda. That gives him 2 top 5s in the last 2 tournaments. He was T3 at 3M Open. I think the -9 type winning score helps him as well. 6,800. I like Griot. Matsu, a good price for him, 8,200. He's 30th in stats, 33rd in recent form, 11th in course fit model. So the courses I looked at, he's played well at that I think suits this course. He's got a 22nd, a miscut, and a 20th, but he's priced right. He's not 9,400 that we got to pay for him. 8,200. That's good for Matsu. So I don't mind going back to Matsu. For Telly, 6,800, good 6K guy that I think can get out there and keep up with these guys. Fowler looked good until Sunday. Maybe that brings down his ownership some. He was very chalky on showdown slates for most of the weekend. He's got a 22nd, a miscut, and a 15th. I don't mind Fowler. Neiman, 7,300. I'm going to play 7,300 Neiman almost every week just because his ball striking is just so good. Top 10 in ball striking, top 3 in approach proximity. I'll play that all week long. HP3, was in the final group with Brooks last year at a tough PGA Championship course, thick rough, winds. Not so good Sunday, but 6,600. You just need a cut made, right? He's had the last 2 weeks off, so able to find the refresh. He played, I think, 6 straight, and then took 2 weeks off. So he's 16th in my stat model. I mean, just for the price, all you got to do is make the cut. I don't mind having some of them. You have to go crazy on it, but I definitely like him this week. Horschel, going back to him, played great last week. A 7th, a 13th, and a 25th coming out these last 4 weeks. I like Horschel. Connors, I think this type of tournament sets up good for him. He's got to hit greens though. Because around the green, we know he struggles. He's 107th in this field around the green. So but if you're playing 7,000 Corey Connors, it's like you need him to hit greens to be competitive, or you can get in trouble. Probably not a 1-3 max guy for me, but definitely a GPP with upside type potential. He's 46th and 20th in my two driving models. So, he's up there. He's good enough for that 7,000. Casey, I don't know how to read. I haven't played him since he came back. He's got a miscut and a 67th, which is damn near last week. Finally shot under par on Sunday. He's been chalky. I assume at the price he's going to be right back. People just want to go to him tee to green. I don't mind a Casey. I just don't want a chalky Casey. I'd rather have if you give me a 12% Casey, then I don't mind being leverage or over the field, especially in a GPP type deal. But he just hadn't looked great overall. So I don't care what his price is. There's not much that's been, he's looked okay. Just always had something every week that I hadn't looked okay. He's looked bad in general. I will say the one, I think it was a Memorial one of them. He got that 9 or whatever on a par 3, and that, cost him, he missed the cut by 1, but people are going to go back to it, T degree. And he's 31st in my model. So he's not horrible by any means. I like him. That's going to be a leverage ownership play for me. Patrick Reed didn't come out as high as I would have expected. I think this sets up well for him. I could see him moving up by Wednesday in my model when I do some deep dive stuff. I know he likes bent, putts well on bent, so that'll help. Course fit, he's 18th in the field, 39th, 10th, 47th. He's a grinder. He's one of the best short games in the deal. That helps him this week. I like him to at least stay in it and fight. Make $8,000 seems kind of cheap for him. It's a major championship. He'll be focused and ready to go. I like him a lot. Hatton's right there with him at $8,000. I don't mind Hatton. I take Reed over Hatton if I was taking the 2 right now. But again, Hatton's kind of a grinder-ish type of guy. Brendan Todd obviously fell apart yesterday, but played well so far. He's at T22 at T15 the last 2 tournaments, 7,400. Certainly worth a look. I don't know how much I'll get there. Finau seems crazy. I assume he'll be high owned at 7,900. An 8th, a 3rd, and then obviously didn't play well last week. So you got a T65. Didn't look great overall. I mean, for everything I'm looking at, this guy can play this week, right? He can put it out there as far as, he can put it out there. And especially, he's good. He's decent around the green. He's got great accuracy approach numbers, 16th in distance, 34 in ball striking. I'm just used to seeing Tony like 8,900 for this tournament. So to see him that low makes you kind of want to, jump on him. But I think a lot of people would think that. So again, ownership we need to pay attention to. Super sleeper, Benjamin Herbert, 6,100. Not a lot of data out there, but what I've seen and what I looked at, and I deep dived into him a little bit once I saw he's 38th in my Monday rank. So I was like, I got to look at this guy a little more. And, it fits the mold. I mean, I definitely don't mind him at all. Especially 6,100, super cheap. GPP play only, obviously. I'm just throwing out some names, let you guys think about a few more, and then we'll head over to the betting strategy. Palmer, I mentioned him. Yeah, the miscut at workday, then a 2nd and a 15th. Played good last week, T15 last week. So 6,900 is a good price for him. If it is going to get windy and we see even more windier, we know he's one of the better wind players on tour. So like Palmer. Poston was a guy I was on last week. I like him as well. 27th in stat models, 70th only in recent form. So that's average, I guess. But upside there, 6,700, just, potential GPP guy. Doc, we know I like Doc any week. 44th in my model. He is coming off 2 missed cuts. Putting is where he struggles. So maybe this kind of tournament where that maybe neutralizes a little bit helps Doc out. And then the last 2 is Spieth, which isn't probably going to pop up in too many models, but 30th last week, 13th at Memorial. We know he shows up at, the big show at times, especially majors. So, probably won't be talked up or owned much. So he's worth, keeping an eye on and a flyer. And then last for me is Scheffler, Scotty Scheffler. I like him. Played great last week. T15, had a T22 at Memorial. Stat wise, he's just good. He's just average. He's above average to the field. So 7,300. I like his upside. Wind as well. I think he can play well in the wind. So that's the last guy to kind of keep an eye on as a roundtable wrap up. We'll go over to Monkey Knife Fights betting strategy. We should be having, I'll verify this, I'm waiting on final to come through, another Beat Cups Corner free roll. So you go to gupscorner.com/affiliates, click on the Monkey Knife Fight link, deposit today. If you've already deposited using the link or the code, you will be in the free roll automatically. You don't have to worry about it. You will have to play the challenges, and I'll send those out, as we did last time. So once you play, it's a $5 fantasy challenge. So once you've deposited with the code or the link, and then you can put as many teams as you want in those $5 fantasy challenge. It's a specific contest, and I post it on the site, or if you need it, if you need it out there, I can send it to you which one we need. I'll post it on Twitter as well. You get in the free roll, and we give last time anybody that beats my score gets a share of the pot. So if there's 2 people that beat me, only 2 people share it. If 10 people beat me, 10 people share it. And then plus we give away subscriptions. We'll probably give away a polo, stuff like that. I'll have full details on that either tonight or in the morning. So be on the lookout, Twitter, and then I'll also put in the Slack for the community members. But anybody can play. You don't have to be a member. You just have to use that link or the code GUP. You deposit up to $50. You get a match for $50. Plus you get into the free roll with entering the fantasy challenge game. And you can play it round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. It takes your best 2 scores of the week and puts it in the standings. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. That'll be a huge giveaway as well this week. And they sponsor our betting strategy. So I kind of mentioned, I like Hovland. I just kind of give the first 10, Monday reaction, value bets that I like, to start the week. I'll have my initial card out either tonight or in the morning, and then final card out Wednesday. Hovland at 40-1, I thought was a good bet. Berger, 40-1. Garcia, 80-1. Scott, 50-1. And these numbers can go plus or minus. Check a few books in there. I try to pick out ones that I saw that were better, but some books carry a little bit better number. DJ, I like. I'll have a FOMO bet on them like I do every week, but 18-1 is probably the lowest I'd go on anybody this week, unless I do a double, in which I would probably take Brooks or a Rory or a JT type of deal. Answer, I like Answer at 50-1. Cantley's on my short list, 25-1. Matsu, 33-1. Tiger, 25-1. And Reed is 40-1. So you can tell it's really isolated, that 25 to maybe 60 to run range. And I mean, all intents and purposes, these big boy tournaments, that's generally who we see win it. I'll have a couple flyers that I'll take chances on that I think could, under the perfect situation. Henley at 200-1 is a guy that I'll at least have a T, that big of a number. You can get a good T10, T20 number. Neiman 125-1. Those are guys that, I think they can compete and get up there and certainly have a chance at their best game. So, but in general, it's going to be one of these bigger boys, I think, and it's going to be in that, either the top of the board or, 40-1 or unders is where I like. So I'm going to have a smaller car with some deep flyers and more concentrated. And then these kind of tournaments, I like to save a little bit of bankroll and get some live numbers. Like last week, we got JT. I wanted to bet him pre-tournament, just didn't like the number. He was just sitting there okay, but I thought he was playing great and had an upside potential. And when you don't have to make up like 19 shot, when the spread's not as loose, when you got 18, 19, 20 under winning it, you can take more live chances. And so when I see a tournament that's 9, 10, 11 under like this, I like to leave a little bit of money, a little bankroll to hit some live numbers on guys that have that upside potential. One and done strategy. Like I said last week, we started segment 3. I went with JT. So I think it's my first win of the year, but good start for me. And I'm sure he was probably highly owned. If you don't, so my strong plays this week are going to be right there back at the top of the board. I mean, you got a big pot. If you hadn't used JT, I think he's in play. I think Rory, I think DJ, I think Brooks. Your next tier of guys I like Hovland, I like Day, Scott potentially, Berger, Cantley, Morikawa, even Rahm, if that could be a little bit contrarian. Bryson, I mean, if you're if you want to let that be your deal and not go elsewhere. Tiger is a good one if you haven't used him yet. Guys like that. So I think some play this week on one and done. So be sure to get your picks in. Go ahead and lock it in now. You can change it 9,000 times if you want to. And JB and the crew also added a favorites feature. So you can go in there now and favorite up to 30 guys and girls, I believe. So say you want to have a side game or pool or something like that, and you don't have to worry about tracking it, then everybody can pick their picks in there just like they do. And then you can see that's all the, so say you got 10 guys in your pool for fun, you're going to do this week only. It lets you not have to go scroll and search all of them anymore. You can put those 10, you can put up to 30 if you want. So neat feature there. Be sure to check that out. They're doing a great job on the contest portion of the site. Goes final thoughts. As always, Wednesday night, be in the chat room, 5:30 Eastern. This time, Kenny Kim will be joining me. He will join me on the big weeks as we go through the year. So obviously being a major, he'll join me this week at 5:30 Eastern. Should be great. It's always a great time when Kenny joins me. Look out, giveaways. I'll be giving away $500+ in merchandise, in DFS money, in subscriptions, all kinds of things. So I'll do them, through Twitter, like I have in the past. You guys help us out, retweeting that, sharing it. I will tell you the 3 top ways that the biggest tweet I'm going to do, and I'll do it tonight. That'll be a giveaway, so you can go ahead and jump on it. To get into this giveaway, will be rate and review us on iTunes. And I've mentioned before, if you've already done that, you're in the log. So the guy that won 2 times ago was a year ago. So I mean, it's there. If you don't know, just go back in there and you can still click it and hit submit and write a review. And even if you have one, it's fine. It doesn't do anything against it. But if you're unsure, go ahead and do that. That gets you into the drawing. Subscribe to us on YouTube channel, get you into the drawing this week. So that's 2 ways. And the third way will be everybody that has already bought a polo or that does buy a polo before Wednesday will get 2 tickets into the drawing, because I'm going to do a drawing on Wednesday. I will probably do another drawing for round 4 showdown. I expect big pots there as well. So if you do all this stuff, you'll still be in the Saturday drawing. And so maybe you buy the polo Friday. Well, then now you'll get 2 more into the Saturday drawing. But those will be the 3 top ways. I may add something else or not, but those will be the 3 ways you get into the drawings this week. The polo is a no-brainer, because now you get 2 tickets into the drawing for big giveaways, plus you automatically get into the drawing for the Scotty Cameron. So, and if you've already bought a polo, you're in there. Don't worry about it. So I appreciate all that. It's crazy times right now. If you don't go through a day or a few days where, between you and your family, there's not stress, anxiety, potential depression, all kinds of things that, yesterday our school district announced that they're going to move the start of school back and then start out virtual only, and so obviously between me and my wife, we're blessed enough we'll be able to do that balancing act. It's still not going to be easy, but there's a lot of families out there that's a tough thing to do, because they're both working and they're used to their kid being at school during the day, and you guys shift a lot of things around. And the main reason for that is, to be cognizant of the people you're around. Whether you're, a lot of people come into this, if you're listening to this, like sports is probably your getaway, like it's your break. Our Slack channel, I've had to get on to some people that get a little aggressive in there, because that's a happy place for most people. And we don't want, I get it. You're going to MF a guy because he missed a putt. I get mad at the, but at the end of the day, we picked him. It is what it is, right? You still get mad, right? That's natural. That's part of the DFS tilt. You just don't have to be egregious about it. And then, one thing I've been working on over the last 3 or 4 weeks is to try to take, if I get upset about what someone says about me or tweets about me or whatever, I try to take a few minutes and really digest it before I respond to it, because I don't know what situation those guys are in. And I don't, maybe they need someone to reach out to them, and especially look around your family and friends. Someone been quiet lately. You hadn't talked to them in a while. Have you reached out to some people? I got a lot of people that, here close local. I'm back in Oklahoma for the first time. So I'm reaching out to some people I hadn't seen in forever, meeting up with them, having lunch, have coffee. Fantasy football drafts will be coming up. Check on your friends and family. And then in our community, it's a great outlet for most people, because there are a lot of people in there, and we're addressing and moving out some of the I can't deal with the constant hatred and cussing and all that kind of stuff nonstop. It gets over the top in there. So we want to move that out because this is a happy place for us. When you're, fantasy, sports, we all, we're sitting there for months. You're like, oh, we just want sports back. We just want sports back. So when we get to these times, we need to enjoy it, embrace it. But more than anything, look out for our friends and family during these times. There's a lot of people out there hurting and scared, anxious, stressful, all that kind of stuff. So anything you can do to help others, that always goes a long way. I hope you guys have a blessed week. Kenny and I will be live 5:30 Eastern time Wednesday for E9, and we'll see you then. Thanks.
SmashFactor.